Trish here. Thank you, first of all, for submitting some responses. I now have a backlog of makeup tutorial looks that I can pull from in the future, so that's great. I got a few responses requesting a youthful, dewy, glowy, very simple springtime look, and so I thought that would be a good place to start. Now, I already did my lip moisturizer, and we will return to lips to finish them at the end, and the moisturizer that I used is Dewy's Ointment All-Purpose Beauty Ointment. Next, I want to work on prepping my skin and mattifying my skin. So I am going to use my Blur and Go stick from Lancome. And this thing is great because you can just take it like a little crayon and draw all over your face. This is great for really mattifying and blurring your pores before you put on any foundation or anything else. I will say a disclaimer that if you have a darker skin tone, this does leave a bit of a white cast, which I'm a little bit paler and I also don't mind because I'm going to put foundation on top of it, and I'm just using this really as a base. But if you wanted to wear this on its own, which you certainly can and I have done, just beware that you might want to get it in a darker shade if you do tend to be have a darker complexion, because it is white and it's kind of translucent, but it also leaves a little bit of a cast. But really good blur stick. Okay, now this is my kind of like sneaky contour trick. So I'm going to go in first with this Lancome makeup stick, and I have this in a darker shade and a lighter shade. The lighter shade I'm going to use for foundation, but first this darker shade I'm going to use as my contour. Once you have that all drawn in, I'm going to take a damp sponge, and I'm just spraying a little Mario Badescu facial spray with chamomile and lavender on my sponge to dampen it, and then blend out that contour. Now, I know I just put my contour on before my foundation, but I think that it looks just a little bit more natural when you do it that way, especially when you're using cream contour. And then you could always go back afterwards and apply a little bit of powder and such on top to kind of accentuate it more if you'd like to, and also just to kind of set it in. So I am going to now apply foundation, and the foundation that I'm using is also Lancome. This is, again, one of their makeup sticks, and the colors that I'm using, by the way, this one is 360 Bisque, and the darker one was 450 Suede. They actually have a pretty good shade range too. They have like 40 or 50 different shades in each type of their foundation. So instead of applying this directly to my face, I am instead going to use a brush to pick it up. And for concealer, I am using the Revlon. This is their Photo Ready Candid Natural Finish Anti-Pollution Foundation, but I bought it in a color that is conducive for me using it as concealer. And I like to apply concealer with my fingers because I think it just gives it a more natural finish when you use your fingers instead of a beauty tool. Even sponges, I find, kind of just give it a weird residue, because the skin under your eyes is just so much thinner that really the only thing that I think mimics it is skin. Skin on skin. We're going to deepen up our shading a little bit with the Smashbox Cali Contour palette. I pretty much always use this palette for shading and contour, so I'm going to use this little gray tone here. So because the focus of this look is really on the skin, I'm going to go very, very minimalist on the eyes, and because this is a springtime look, I thought that I would use a very springy color, and this is the color Count Me In by ColourPop, and it's actually a blush, but I'm going to use it as an eyeshadow. And now for the most fun part, we get to use all of the highlighters. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually give my highlighter a little something extra to stick to. So I'm going to use that Dewy's Ointment again and take it just on the bed of my finger, not too much, and very gently I'm just going to tap it on the top of my cheekbone. Okay, so that's where I want like the bulk of the highlight and glow to come from. So I'm using that Uli's just as, again, like a base for the highlighter. The highlighter I'm using, I've used a couple, but my favorite is the Stila highlighter in shade Kitten, and as you can see, it's just a really pretty highlighting shade. So I'm going to use a brush. Sometimes I use my finger, but today I'm going to use this Morphe fluffy brush. And some of the other places that I'm going to use it is down the bridge of my nose, and on top of my Cupid's bow, on my brow bone. And I'm going to mix in a little bit of the Toy Alien highlighter from Kaja. This is from their Mochi Glow collection, because this one has a little bit more of a gold undertone to it, and Kitten has a little bit more of a rose gold undertone to it. So I'm going to kind of mix this one on top of this one now. You can also put a little bit on top of your eyebrow. Just be careful not to go too crazy there so you don't kind of have a glittery streak. I think it really depends on what type of highlighter you use, and I really prefer highlighters that don't have any kind of like really chunky glittery aspect to them. They're much more of like a sheen. And for blush, I'm going to mix that ColourPop color that we just used on the eyes, and this is in the color Count Me In, and I'm going to mix it with the color Prenup. So this one's a little more purpley, and this one's a little more peachy. With blush, I think it looks the most youthful when you really apply it to the very tops of your cheekbones. So if you smile and you find that very top of the apple, that's really where you want to concentrate the color, and then you can kind of diffuse it upwards from there. So now we're going to do lips, and for the lip today I thought it would be, again, fun to do something that was just very like springy and youthful, and so I'm doing a lip stain. This is from Kaja, and this is in the color Cashmere, and it's a very like rosy color, and I picked it out because it's, I want to say it's very close to the color of my natural lips, but amplified. So the way that I like to apply this is by first making sure that you remove any excess moisture from your lips, because you don't want this moving around a whole lot. So remove any excess moisture, and then I like to use my finger. So I just apply a little bit to my finger, a very, very small amount, and then you can continue to amplify the color as much as you want. One more trick. If you really want to be super dewy, super glowy, take a big fluffy brush, this is the last step, and dip into your favorite sheeny highlighter, and just take this all over the high points of your face. So you're going to take it on cheeks, top of your forehead, bridge of your nose, and dust even a little bit on your chin. Okay guys, this is the final look. Very fresh for springtime. It's definitely light enough to wear during the day, but it's also a really nice evening summertime look. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Bye.